Hello, troopers. It is Will and Chloe here, and we're back with another episode, the 501st Com Chatter, which isn't about the 501st. 2 episodes in a row. Basically due to our scheduling this week, we aren't able to do the episode on our Thursday like normal, and every other day around it, you're working late, I'm working late.
Yeah.
So we can't do it. So we're going to do it tonight. Now, obviously, it is very late notice and very last minute. So we do hope you understand as well that tonight's episode isn't, I don't know, the fullest, shall we say. We've still got lots of good things to talk about, but still a little bit like we've gone a little bit lighter. So we don't have any news. It's nothing.
Yeah. I don't think there has really been anything released. I've not seen any new figures or anything on socials. So
no, I can't think of anything. Either.
But I know a couple of weeks ago we did have quite a lot released. So and they have been releasing the hot toys and stuff every week. So
okay.
Maybe by the end of the week we'll have some more news.
Maybe next week we'll have a lot of news.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so as I just mentioned, today's episode we are going to be talking about another 2 legions.
Mm-hmm.
So last week we mentioned the 104th, and we also mentioned the 212th.
Yeah.
So this week we've done it again, but we've done 2 different legions.
Yeah.
So I've done the 327th Star Corps.
And I've done Coruscant Guard.
I love them. Love those guys.
Or shock troopers, as some people call them.
Yes. You call them what you want, but to me they're the Coruscant Guard. I will always call them that. Like, oh, that's such a cool Coruscant Guard.
Yeah.
Speaking of, T-Fin, hopefully will be coming on soon. And maybe he'll show off his Coruscant Guard. And we can ask him, why? Why the Coruscant Guard? Because that's a question I'd like to know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, stay tuned. Anything else we need to mention before we crack on?
Don't think so.
Again, like we said, it might be a little bit of a shorter episode this week.
Yep.
Just because
there's not much news.
No, and
sometimes
we
we're
just
talking about the news for about half hour.
That is true, yeah. But then, as well, we just haven't been able to get all the information because it's just been so short. And again, we do apologise that it's not what's the word? It's not
fun.
No, it's going to be a fun episode. It's just not a long episode like normal.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think we mentioned this properly last episode,
mm-hmm.
but we have fixed the issue with the audio.
Oh yeah, last episode it wasn't fixed yet.
No.
So we have fixed it, so you can listen to our last 2 episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere.
Yeah. So this episode will be going out as normal.
Yeah.
It's just been a case of we found the solution, and some guy called Albert was very helpful. And so that's all good, and we're back on track. So, So, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Let's start off with the Coruscant Guards.
Woo!
Woohoo! So the Coruscant Guards, they are a division of elite clone shock troopers of the Grand Army of the Republic. They're organized to serve as peacekeepers and protect the capital planet of the Republic, which is Coruscant.
Really?
Yeah, you'd never knew that by the
name. Who would have guessed?
There we go. We've got a lovely picture of them.
Sorry, I forgot to get the picture.
There you go. So their main purpose is protecting government buildings and vital infrastructure on this planet of Coruscant. They're also placed under the command of Commander Fox, who is C number is 1010, which I thought was a very nice number to have. It's
Very
not one you forget.
binary number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because of like computer binary and that, like 101010.
There you go.
So wait, it's 1010.
Yeah.
That's a number I actually really like.
Would it be 1010 or would it be 1010? I'm not sure.
I would call him CT 1010.
Yeah. I don't know. But then it's like 7567.
Yeah, CT 1010. I guess. Yeah, no, I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I'm wrong, but I do like that 1010.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? So Coruscant Guards are kind of seen. They're kind of hated by the public because it's like they're kind of the police force as such. So, but they're also weaker than usual clone troopers. So, like obviously the clone troopers, the 501st and all that, they're soldiers. So they're out on the battlefield, and they're like stationed to like this planet, and they're more so kind of just keeping the peace. They don't want any trouble. So they're kind of seen as weaker compared to the other legions. But they would have likely been more intelligent than the other clones. So they know more about like social skills and stuff because they have to communicate with the, people of Coruscant. Order them to stop doing what they're doing, or can you come with me?
Disperse.
Yeah. So they may have had more of like an education rather than, this clone grows up, train it to battle droids and fly and all of that. Whereas they've probably had a bit more of like, this is how you talk to people. This is how you're.
I need some of that.
Yeah, I don't know. So their weapons included rifles, stun batons, and riot shields. So they're a lot more sort of light-hearted weapons than what you'd usually see a clone have on the battlefield.
I mean, you still got rifles.
Yeah, true. But like they would almost have them as like a precaution. Like they wouldn't necessarily use them unless they had to, So they would patrol the streets of Coruscant alongside GU series Guardian police droids and civilian police officers,
which we've seen in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So obviously we know Coruscant. There's the higher, what is it called, like up top, up down, or something that Ahsoka says. So obviously the lower levels of Coruscant, it's very much, there's gambling going on. You need sort of like a police force there. So They have all of these, they have these droids, they have civilian police officers, but then Coruscant Guards actually helped them as well. So if there's anyone that looks suspicious, or, if there's riots going on in the streets, then they would obviously help them out, because that's their job, because they're protecting Coruscant. So they escort Jedi and senators to protect them on off-world assignments. So, kind of like the Lego sets and stuff. We get like a ship and it has Padme and Palpatine, and then you've got the Coruscant Guards, because it's like,
of course,
they're like bodyguards almost. So it's like, if it was a famous person, you would have bodyguards protecting them.
I just got this image in my head now of like Michael Jackson flanked by a couple of Coruscant Guard troopers.
That would be funny though. Someone just turn up a red carpet and the old bodyguards, of course.
I would love that. They would become one of my favourite celebs if I was like, wow, you have a Coruscant Guard bodyguard.
There
nice.
You go. Skilled. I mean, they are Jango Fett's, aren't they? So
Yeah, but he's a bounty hunter.
yeah, true. So yeah, again, they're basically bodyguards, and they were bodyguards to Sheev Palpatine, because they basically shared the role with his like red guards. You know, the ones that like
The palette.
they look like melted Crayolas.
They got a name. What's it called? Like Pala.
Don't know. The thing I read.
I know the
said
ones. Yeah.
Palpatine's red guards, so I'm not sure if they have a name.
No, they do. They're like the ones we see in Mando and the ones we see in.
No, not those. The ones that are like by his office and then Yoda.
Yeah, the like ones
Yeah,
that are like on the Death Star with them. They've got like a
Yeah.
name. I'm gonna look that up because
Okay. Well,
I know they've got a name.
you know what they are. Red guards. So essentially they're kind of Palpatine's bodyguards, but so are the Coruscant guards. You know, the moment that he goes to Mustafar and goes down and says, "Oh, he's still alive," with Anakin, you know, who's around him? Coruscant guards. Because I think the problem with his other guards is they have like this long kind of dress thing, whereas like these, they can withstand any terrain, you know, like it's clone armor, isn't it?
Mhm.
So
I see what you mean. They
There
are
you
just
go.
called the Red Guards.
they're just called the Red
Canberra.
Guards, but they look like melted crayons or something. I'm pretty sure in Robot Chicken they get called a Crayola.
Yeah.
There you go. So Coruscant guards are considered among the best and most loyal clone troopers created. So, you know, they are very loyal to the senators, and they're, you know, they'll do as they're told to do, you know, as they're
Good.
commanded by Palpatine. There you go.
I'm glad they do what they're told.
So, you know, they're not the sort of clones to like want to leave the Republic or anything. Like they, you know, they're loyal. So when Order 66 happened, the 501st got sent to the temple, even though Coruscant guards would have been on the planet. Their skill set is what kind of brings them back. So Palpatine ordered the 501st to the temple because he's like, Coruscant guards, they ain't gonna know how to defeat Jedi and stuff. So obviously you got Darth Vader there, who has the 501st anyway. You know, they're all under Palpatine's control now. So he's sent them all to the temple to obviously do the Order 66. Even though these clones would have been on the planet, it's, you know, they wouldn't have
They
been
might have
able...
helped out. They might have been like on the perimeter or something.
Possibly,
if anyone was, because if you remember as well, in the Mandalorian, when Kelleran Beck takes Grogu,
Oh yeah, there
a
is.
gunship comes after
There is.
them, and it's the Coruscant Guard. Because
There
I
you go.
remember I was telling you,
So they did.
I
help
was
out,
getting
but they weren't
excited. I got really excited because we
live
got
action
we
Coruscant.
live action Coruscant Guard, even though it was brief.
Yeah.
So I
So they
reckon
were definitely there, but the 501st and Anakin.
yeah, they were the ones that
did all
sacked the temple,
Yeah, did the
which you
hard
would have
work.
expected. Yeah.
See, we all have this thing about Commander Fox because there is. There you go. There's a good picture. Because there is an arc in the Clone Wars where Fives finds out about the chips and everything, and then, you know,
I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, we've all seen it. Unless you haven't seen the Clone Wars.
What are you doing? Go watch it now.
But yeah, there's a scene where he's trying to tell Anakin and Rex about the chips and how all the clones are like under control. So he puts them in like a ray shield, but Rex doesn't have his blasters, so Rex's blasters are sort of off to the side. Then obviously the Coruscant guards come. Fox is there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And then, they're about to arrest him or something. And then, in his own defense, he's taken Rex's blasters, pointed it at Fox. Fox has then shot him, and Fives dies. I know.
Shocking, mate.
Yeah, very shocking. I'm very sorry to bring that up again.
I'm glad.
But this is why everyone hates Commander Fox. But in fairness, he was only like defending himself.
He probably had orders to kill him.
I don't think Five should have grabbed.
No, but he
Captain
was
Rex's
because
blasters,
he
but-
was unarmed, and I think he wanted a bit of protection. Because if you've got to remember, these guys are like so loyal to Palpatine.
Yeah.
Palpatine would have probably said to Fox,
Yeah.
"You kill him."
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he would have
Palpatine
killed him
is-
anyway.
Palpatine don't care about anyone. He would kill Vader. Like
But he
fine.
what I did find interesting about Fox is he did stand up to Anakin.
Yeah.
So this photo here is from
I
the
remember this.
arc when Ahsoka has been framed for the murder of the bombing of the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
And Anakin goes to see her,
Mm-hmm.
and Fox is like, "No, I can't let anyone pass."
Yeah.
And Anakin's like, "No, you'll let me pass." And he's like, "I'm sorry."
No.
And then
No,
he's
you're Anakin.
like, "I don't care." Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, he's quite infamous.
Yeah. But obviously, in that moment, he's seen Fives as a threat, and
He was ordered to kill him anyway.
yeah, he must have been ordered. There you go. So
Yeah.
we're all hating on Fox, but really we should be hating on Palpatine for commanding him to do that. But anyway, so you have Fox, and then there's Commander Thorn as well.
Do you want to mention his death?
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna get to that.
Oh, sorry. No. You got a plan.
No, it's fine.
No, there we go.
All right, okay, this is Thorn. So, Commander Thorn had a garrison on Scipio. So,
Scipio.
Scipio, there we go. Scipio, sorry, I don't know how to say these planet names, okay?
Don't worry, I've got some hard ones coming up in a minute.
So, planet Scipio, which if you guys don't know, it's the planet where
The banking
all the banking clan and their vaults are. So Commander Thorn had like a garrison there. But he was like different to the rest of the Coruscant Guard. So he carried heavy weaponry. I mean, you can see here he's got like a cannon in his hand. And he had a military officer's badge on his armor. He had like an antenna. You can kind of see it on this picture. He has an antenna out of his shoulder, and he wears a kama, and he has a visor as well. So this is all because he's a commander, but essentially he's kind of like below Fox, but Fox runs everything on Coruscant, and he's like the lead sort of person of all of the Coruscant guards. But Thorn, he deals with everything off-world, so he will take little garrisons of Coruscant guards that are like soldiers, and then deal with everything outside of Coruscant, which makes it easier for Fox because Fox can stay in the home world and deal with any threats there. So Thorn is sort of well known because there's an arc in the Clone Wars where he escorts Senator Padme Amidala and Rush Clovis, which we all hate.
Boo.
We hate Clovis.
Get him out of here.
So they get escorted to
Scipio,
where obviously he's got a garrison there, because they're going to the banking clan's vault. So that's the whole point of like that arc in the Clone Wars. But yeah, that's where he's sort of new from. So this guy, he ends up dying in the Clone Wars. We do see it. It's in season 6, episode 7. He goes into this building. There's a ridiculous amount of droids. He's trying to take them all out as best he can. Like, he's firing this cannon at them. I think this is actually where this...
It is.
Yeah.
So basically...
So he's firing this cannon at them.
The Separatists have ambushed the Coruscant Guard on the planet. And there's too many of them.
Yeah,
and
he ends up, like, whacking them with the gun, because I guess it gets jammed or whatever. So
yeah, and they just surround him.
They end up shooting him.
And he has a very famous line that we all say.
For the Republic!
For the Republic! Yeah. Great line.
Yeah. So, that was...
Do you know what? Sorry, that just reminds me of... that just reminds me of when I went to Celebration and I met D. Bradley Baker, and the guy behind me had a photo of Crosshair that he was going to get signed, and he wanted D. Bradley Baker to sign it with his favourite quote. So he got a picture of Crosshair, and he said to D. Bradley Baker, like, can you put your favourite clone quote on it? So he signed it, like, to whoever, for the Republic. There was a picture across there. And then I said to the guy afterwards, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I don't remember Crosshair ever saying that, though. And he was like, yeah, no.
Oh, dear.
Bugger.
Oh.
I'll never forget that first. It's quite fun.
Oh.
For the Republic.
Yeah, it's a good line, though.
It's an iconic, and it's one of the best, like, last stands ever.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Oh dear. So after Order 66, the Coruscant Guards were kept by the Galactic Empire to be security on Coruscant. So essentially, they're doing the same thing. They're still run by Palpatine. I think even they ended up getting like stormtrooper armor, but they still had like the red markings and stuff. So Commander Fox initially kept the role. So there we go. Go back to Commander Fox.
There we go.
So he kept his role to serve as the head of the Coruscant Guards. But later on, he ends up getting executed by Darth Vader, which I didn't know until today.
He's an interesting fact. That is a really cool fact.
But you said it's in the Vader comics?
Yes. So basically, in the comics, Vader, Fox, and some other Coruscant guards go to the Jedi temple, or former temple, and they find that there's like an intruder or something.
Yeah.
And I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe it's Jocasta Nu, the librarian. And she knows who Vader is. She knows Vader is Anakin. And she basically tells the Coruscant Guard that Vader is Anakin, who's a Jedi. And then all of a sudden they're like, wait. So then they like open fire on him. And obviously I think she escapes or tries to escape in the chaos. And Vader's now obviously being attacked by the Coruscant Guard, and I believe he kills every one of them because they know. And Fox is one of those people there, I believe. So that's how he comes to an end.
Yeah. I tried to look up why he's called Commander Fox, because like some of the clones, they have their names
Fives.
for a certain reason, like fives, 5, 5, 5, 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And like hard case and car and all that. But like and heavy, heavy weaponry. But I couldn't find a single thing about why he's called Commander Fox. I'm guessing maybe because he has the red armor and he's the commander, like red foxes. I don't know. That is my theory. But other than that, it just says that he got his name during training. So who knows?
Foxy.
Maybe
Foxy guy.
I think it's because he's red. Maybe he's fox. Maybe he
I don't
goes to, was it 79s?
79s.
Maybe goes to 79s.
I reckon maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And if I remember right as well, this guy in the middle is, I think his name's like Fire, like
Oh,
Thire, which we see in the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
So you know when Yoda gets shot down and he's on that planet with the Coruscant Guard,
Mhm.
I believe one of the guys there is that guy in the middle, Fire, I think.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that rings a bell. My name.
yeah, and this is when like double your search.
Yeah.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, they did it really good there. I
They
love
did.
like the colouring.
Yeah, that's another good thing. The colouring of it stands out, and
Yeah.
you know,
It makes them easily distinguishable. Like, okay, that's a Coruscant Guard.
it's one of those you look at it and you're like, I know who that is. Like, you don't need
I
to.
feel like, everything to do with Palpatine is always red. Like, he's a Sith Lord. The Sith Lord's lightsaber is always red. His guards are red. The Crayola melted candles. The Coruscant Guard's red. Even his office is red. So
He likes red?
maybe it's like foreshadowing of him being the Sith Lord and them being the bad guys.
Yeah,
Who
maybe.
knows? There we go.
So, on to my Legion for today. Or have you got more?
No, that was it.
So, today I'm going to be talking about the 327th. These guys were badass.
Yeah.
But I also will say that they're probably responsible for what I consider the most brutal Order 66 death in the film, Revenge of the Sith, where they just don't stop shooting.
No.
Very brutal. I don't know why they didn't stop. But yeah, these are the 327th. So they are led by Ayla Secura.
Yeah.
You see here.
So she's the Blue Twilight Jedi.
Second in command was Commander Clone Marshal Commander Bly, also known as CT-5052.
Yep. CC.
Sorry, CC-5052. And he is this one here with the visor.
Yep.
That one there.
He does look very cool.
He does. But yeah, so this is them. They were very distinguished from their sort of marigold markings.
Yeah.
Now, I know since the Fallen Order game,
they do look very similar.
they're very similar to the 13th.
Yeah.
But I think the 13th were more of a yellow, more like a brighter yellow, if that makes sense. But they are very similar looking to that one, so you can sort of confuse them.
Yeah.
Now,
I think the 13th are almost like a lemony yellow. These are like a mustardy yellow.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
The Kenobi's
is like an orange. I'd say they're orange.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one thing that I found interesting, and you can see here in this picture, all of them, well, most of the soldiers wore pauldrons and calasses. Is it calasses? Camas, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of skirty shields on the legs.
Yeah.
Basically, all the troopers, not just the commanders, all of them had them.
Maybe it's to make them more distinguishable compared to the 13th and the 332nd.
Possibly.
They're all similar colour.
Well, as well, these guys were in the proper thick of it.
Yeah.
In terms of the war. So basically, they spent most of the war in Sector 12 of the JAR, which I can't remember stands for exactly, but it's like the map. So they're in Sector 12, which was considered the most brutal of the war.
Okay.
So the Separatists held many key planets in this sector,
Yeah.
and had a large number of droid armies in it. So you would have the likes of other planets in Sector 12, as an example. Saleucami, Kashyyyk, Ringo Vinda, which is where Tup had his inhibitor chip malfunction.
Yeah.
Was also in Sector 12. Also the Doom Legion, which we haven't really mentioned, but I've got a figure of them because that was who was on Ringo Vinda. The Doom lot with and they were in Sector 12 as well.
Yeah.
So basically, these guys were very tough.
Yeah.
Because of the sector they were in and the planets that they were fighting on, they were always nearly outnumbered, almost constantly on the defensive or an offensive. So it was like retake lost ground on like Felucia, but they were always, dealing with heavy odds. It wasn't like, they'd go in and win the day. These guys were fighting for their life.
Yeah.
The 327th and other battalions in that sector suffered heavy casualties because, throughout the war, both in men and material, because, again, they're so outnumbered, they went through a lot of resources and, men, because they just were getting absolutely battered. Often, battalions from other sectors would come in and were called in for reinforcements. Because, again, they were so basically short. However, survivors became extremely professional, hardened troopers who would carry the 327th through the war, training the shinies. So they would train the recruits, like the newies. By the end of the war, the 327th had earned the reputation of being one of the best battalions in the GAR, which is the Grand Army of the Republic, I believe, on par with the legendary 501st and 212th.
There you go.
So these guys, because they were always in, very different to the Coruscant Guard. The Coruscant Guard had a very easy, chilled existence on, they were basically police. These guys are like the Marines. They were in the heavy fighting constantly, always outnumbered. Odds are always against them. Do you know what I mean? So you can.
And the amount of animals on Felucia as well that they must have encountered. We've seen Kenobi struggling and Anakin and all that with these big monsters. You've got thousands of them on this planet. I think potentially why they have the more commander kind of armor, maybe to protect them more, but also
I think for protection, really,
because they've done so much for the Republic in those sectors. They're almost. I think
you've nailed it with the protection thing because, like I said,
armor,
they're in the worst.
Yeah.
They're in the worst bit.
Yeah.
So they wore karmas and pauldrons with their armor to sort of, like I said, I originally thought it was only for commanders and captains that would have all the pauldron and karmas, but no, they decided to do it because, notable missions that they went on. They had the mission to Escanda, which I will relay in a minute. The Battle of Quell, which was basically they went there and they got absolutely battered. Anakin and Ahsoka and basically they turn up with in the flagship, the Resolute, I think it's called. Is it the Resolute? I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway, so they turn up in that, and they just all got battered, and they escaped on the secure Ayla, Ahsoka, Anakin, who was now injured, Rex and Bly, and a couple of other troopers escaped on like a Republic ship, and they went into hyperspace, and that's when they landed on Maridum, where they met the lemurs, the lemurs of Star Wars, the Lurman.
Yeah.
I call them lemurs.
Yeah, they don't like lemurs.
Even the name Lurman, it's a bit Lehman.
I remember. Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously Bly was involved in protecting them. Obviously the Battle of Felucia, and they also took part in the Great Jedi Purge, which obviously this scene is about to go down.
Oh dear.
Again, it's such a sad scene.
Yeah.
Because
she totally doesn't expect it. She's just walking along and she like turns back and it's like.
And they just probably gun her down.
Yeah.
And also now again, I can't remember if this is canon.
Yeah.
But there's lots of. There is obviously lots of fan art of it, but I'm not going to show it because it's probably a little bit too raunchy. Okay. But Commander Bly and Ayla Secura were supposedly
together,
a couple.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's even makes it even more sad that he just guns her down without hesitation. So Commander Bly actually, he was an advanced recon commando, and after the war, he became a stormtrooper commander.
Oh.
So he carried on his duties into the Empire. So we got the mission to Iskander.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. So during the war, the Jedi Quinlan Vos discovered intelligence regarding a new separatist droid. Ayla Secura and the 327th were sent to the muddy planet of Iskander, where a separatist base was located. Shortly after arriving, the separatist battle droids attacked them, resulting in Commander Bly getting injured.
Wow. Okay.
Due to Bly's injuries, another clone trooper, Devis, took command. Secura ordered the 327th to stay put and proceeded to the separatist base alone. After no contact with their general, the clones decided to contact Ayla, which resulted in her getting detected. Silly.
Oh dear.
Commander Devis, though, going against orders, decided to go to the base to attempt to rescue Ayla. Eventually, the 327th reached the base and discovered Ayla being interrogated by Ventress, who revealed that she had leaked the intelligence to lure and capture the Jedi. The clones then activated the remaining droids to distract Ventress, and the clones and Ayla escaped to safety.
Always Ventress.
Yeah. Bly and Devis would share the role of commander.
Okay.
Bly taking the senior position of as commander of the battalion.
Yeah.
Devis a rank lower than him in effect.
Yeah.
So
it's very similar to Commander Fox and Thorn.
Yeah, pretty much. So Commander Bly was the main leader of the clone, was the main commander of the 327th, but Devis was also the commander, but he was a rank blown.
Yeah.
So I think that was quite an interesting mission.
Yeah.
I quite like them anyway. I think their color scheme is quite cool. And
I love how how they look, because they all look like commanders, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the figure as well for Commander Blight is quite hard to get. You know, it's quite a popular, rare one as well.
Yeah.
Here's just a normal 327th Trooper. As you can see, it's got the pauldron, got the Kamas as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the reason the background today is a jungle is because of Fort Felicia and the 327th. So
Yeah.
I thought that was quite fun.
Yeah. It
But
does
yeah,
look very fun.
they are they're quite cool. Up there with, you know, best of the best, shall we say?
Yeah.
That's really it about them. You know, like I said, the more we go on about these legions, the less we're going to find out about them.
Yeah.
Because obviously, apart from like the 501st and the 212th, there's not really much known about these legions. So, you know, whatever we can find, we will give you guys.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm thinking before we sort of move on to like troopers of the week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How about we do a ranking system?
Okay.
So we do a joint rank of our favorite legions. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start us off here. I might be wrong, but number 1, 501st.
Yeah.
That's. I think we both agree with that one. Because
I mean, Rex is like
my boy,
our favorite kind of.
There's Rex everywhere in this room. He's everywhere. Yeah, no, 501st. You know, I've always been a fan of them ever since I saw them in Revenge of the Sith, and
even though they killed all the Jedi,
we don't talk about that, but we love the
fight.
fight.
A bad day.
It was a bad day at the office.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, Anakin's like my favorite character in Star Wars.
And he killed all the Tuskens.
He was there.
And
he
all the
killed
Jedi.
everyone. You know, he's Darth Vader, and it's like Darth Vader's like the biggest villain in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, or is it Palpatine? I think, you know, deep down Anakin was a good guy, and the clones are all good. Even Fox is good. It's all down to Palpatine, isn't it?
Yep.
Palpatine's the bad one here.
So 501st.
Yeah.
As the number one. Number 2. What do you reckon? I'm going to put some suggestions out there.
I reckon maybe 212.
I was going to say 212 or 332nd.
Ooh,
Vaughn and Ahsoka. Because they are basically 501st.
Yeah.
And I do like their whole colour scheme with their helmets.
True.
And I know they were very sort of short-lived.
Yeah.
But what do you reckon?
And they did put up a good fight against all of the
and they helped retake Mandalore.
Mandalorians.
The Mandalorians, I like that. That's good. What do you reckon? I mean, because I quite like the 212 from Cody. I think I like them more. Because I was more excited when I saw Cody again in the Bad Batch than I was.
I do really like Waxer. I think he's my favourite out of the 212.
I was wondering where you were going with that. What?
No. But, yeah, I do like
Did we say 212?
Yeah, I think 212. Then 332nd. I'm really sorry, Vaughn UK.
He's going to hate us now. He's just lost one of our good friends. I'm sorry, Daniel.
No.
So, 3rd, 332nd.
Yeah.
4th, we've got the likes of the Coruscant Guard, 104th, 327th. I'm going to go for... Oh, we've got the 41st as well.
Oh, yeah, the Yodas.
Yep. I'm going to go for...
And we got the Bad Batch as well.
That I don't think they count because they're not really like a legion. It's just like a group of 5 of them, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for. Oh, this is tough. Well, I'm gonna say my one, and if you disagree, let me know. I'm gonna say 104th.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. But I don't know. I don't really like...
No, I'm
Mace
changing
Windu.
it. But he's not the one for the 104th.
Is that on the Mace Windu's?
No, 104th is the one I did last week with Plo Koon.
Oh,
The Wolf Pack.
Okay.
So I'm
Sorry,
gonna
getting
change
them
it.
Mixed up.
4th, I'm gonna say Coruscant Guard.
You're going to say
I'm gonna say Coruscant Guard. I've changed it.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm going to be different. I'm going to say Hauser's people. I don't know
Hauser's
the number.
Legion.
Yes.
I don't think we actually get a number. But
I don't know. Maybe Hauser. I did really like Hauser. Like, I think he helped out Bad Batch a lot, and I do really like the colouring and his armor.
But he's the only one with it.
True. Okay. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say Coruscant Guard 4th. 5th, I'm gonna say 104th.
No, the Wolf Pack.
Okay, 5th, I'm saying 104th.
Yeah. Then Mace Windu.
You're saying that's 6th for Mace Windu's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 41st because I love Kashyyyk and
Yeah.
Commander
true.
Greer's armor as well.
Okay, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna say 41st, then 7th Mace Windu's.
7th, 187.
Yeah. Because I agree. I think Yoda's Legion, the 41st. The armor, like Commander Gree, has like a chrome, kind
Looks
of
quite
like
cool.
Beskar looking helmet. And then the rest of them, they have like, they all have like green visors, and they're all camouflage because obviously Kashyyyk and stuff. So maybe just for that armor.
I'm gonna say after the 41st, I'm gonna say the 327th.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. There's
You're
too many
forgetting
legions.
all the legions.
I'm forgetting them all.
This is quite funny. So should we give up there?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Okay. Yeah.
You're struggling a bit there.
I would say my favourite ones would be 501st.
Yes.
212,
Yes.
332nd.
Yeah.
Then
We've agreed on that.
yeah. Then from there on, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then I say Coruscant Guard, 104th, 41st, 327th, then 187th, which is Mace Windu's, and then probably Doom Legion, because I don't really... You see them for like one episode, I think. So, yeah. And maybe the 13th after that. There's just so many.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Camino security forces. Let us know what you think, what your favourites are. Shall we do Meme of the Week? Yes. You haven't seen this one. It's quite funny.
Back in 2001, a woman working at Hooters to sell out all her peers and win the first place in selling beers. She thought she was going to win a Toyota. She won a Yoda.
She won a Toy Yoda. Get it?
Yep. Toyota.
Could you imagine her face when she's like, she's put in the work, she's put in all the effort to think, I'm winning a car, I'm winning a brand new Toyota. And then the guy's like, no, it was a Toyota.
Oh dear. In fairness, I do have a little toy Yoda. So I wouldn't be bothered. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah,
but in fairness, if you've got your hopes up about getting a car and then you get a little Yoda figure,
But that's the thing. She's
dunno.
no offense to her, but she doesn't look like she's very interested in Star Wars.
Mm.
And this is back in 2001.
Yeah.
So, she looks like she has got her mindset on this car.
Yeah. Just like, damn it. I gotta get the bus back to
She's
work.
like, I've got a bloody toy.
Yeah.
That toy Yoda is probably worth
Probably worth
a bit now.
so much now, yeah. It's even got the lightsabers.
I know. It's got a lightsaber and it's got the little figure. Maybe we should look up next episode, see if we can try and work out how much one of those is now. Be like,
there you go, you can buy your car.
although saying that, every time I see a Toyota now, I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
look, it's a Toyota.
Because in like an accent, it sounds like the car.
Toyota.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you say it quick, Toyota.
Yeah. I reckon Toyota, the car, they should make an advert with Yoda.
Yoda in a Toyota.
You get a free toy Yoda with any Toyota purchase.
That'd be quite funny, actually.
Okay, this is sounding like an advert now that we're advertising for Toyota.
Yeah, we are not actually sponsored by
No, not
Toyota. But we would like a Toyota.
Have a Yoda and a baby Yoda or a Grogu.
Shall we do Trooper of the Week?
Yeah.
Now, again, our list has been quite short because, it's very, should we say, last minute. But sure. So we've had this guy nominated a couple of times. He's a bit of a well-known, shall we say, on the TikTok scene and Instagram, I believe, as well. He's quite big. He goes by, I don't know, if you don't know him, you're very
Nomad props.
Nomad. And he done a video where it's like, if you touch that again, I shall kill you right now.
Yeah.
Do not cross this. This is
No
no
touching zone.
Now, I do remember I did a TikTok very similar to this, so it was quite near and dear, but it's very, very true, shall we say. Like, I'm very
It's like when
protective.
you have a visitor come to your house.
I'm very protective of my Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I had a guy come in here to do something with like the window and that, and he obviously didn't care about like my Veneta that's just down there, and he was very close.
Just like, don't touch my
He was
Veneta.
very close to kicking it numerous times, and I was just sat there like, I can't look. Luckily, it survived. So, but yeah, so I think it's quite a funny one, and I totally agree with it. Don't touch it. So
especially like little kids as well. Like if you're getting little kids around, they're like, "Oh, I want to touch this,"
No.
and you're like, "No,
don't you dare." That's why
touch
when
my helmet."
when I get the Veneta and I get it in a proper nice glass see-through case, then I can relax.
Yeah.
I can be like, no.
Nope.
No one can harm it or touch it anymore. So yeah, so we've gone for him. Shout out, Nomad Prop.
So I haven't got like a new troop of the week, but I'm going to give this guy a shout out. So we've had him on the podcast before, Alpine Vader.
Our friend
on the podcast. So a few days ago, he did a event with the 501st. So he has a Darth Vader cosplay, if you don't know. And he, at Christmas time, has like this Santa hat that he puts on top of the helmet to be like Santa Vader. And I just love it because it's like, Vader is not all bad,
he mentioned, I'm pretty sure he mentioned the Santa hat.
Yeah.
Because he had to get like a bigger one.
Like ridiculously big to fit over the dome. But he recently did a charity event for Toys for Tots, dressed as Christmas Vader, shall we say. And yeah, it's very cool. So this is his Santa Vader. I think he even put some lights in in his like chest bit.
Hmm.
So it's very cool. But yeah, I just found it very funny because it's like, I am your father, Christmas. But
Which
yeah,
is coming
and
very
obviously,
soon.
you know, he's doing it all for charity and stuff, like with his other 501st friends. But it's just, you know, I love seeing the 501st do what they do. Like, it's such a special thing, you know. Everyone looks at it as like, oh, you dress up as Star Wars, you're really cool, but like, that's cool in itself. But when they're doing all this stuff for charity events and, you know, they're raising money for good causes, or in that case, it's like Toys for Tots. So it's like kids that can't, you know, their parents can't afford toys for them for Christmas, and then people donate toys, but they go to these events just to see Vader and all of that. You know, it's such a cool thing. It's like, you know, you're doing really good. So I thought he was worth a shout out in today's
Absolutely.
episode because he's doing very well, and I do really like the Santa Vader. I think it's very cool, and it's something that like I haven't seen anyone else do, so it's like it's just something very different.
So shout out to our friend
Alpine Vader.
So yeah, that was that for this week. Again, we hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit of a different day, and you know, not exactly what you expected, but you know, I think it's been quite an informative episode, finding out about the 327th and Coruscant Guard.
Yeah, I mean, I found out about Darth Vader killing Commander Fox this episode,
Yep.
which I didn't know before.
There you go.
And you know, maybe you guys found out something else too. You know, about the type of weapons they had or the missions they went on.
Yep.
So yeah, something a bit different.
Yeah. So
we can learn something new.
Exactly. So we'll probably be back next week.
Yeah.
Well, we will be back next week. So no episode this Thursday coming, but there will be one like next week. So we will see you then, and keep an eye on our socials and all that, because we're going to try and be a little bit more active on them and engaging with you guys as well. So yeah, we will see you on the next episode.
Yeah.
May the force be with you.
Yeah. See you later, guys.